Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Special edition, Steel City Sports World. I'm your host, Luther Dupree, joined by my man, Mike Migliore, Claudia Rosano, and Smoking Jim Frazier. Great show, great award we're going to give out, but we're going to start the show off like we do all the time. Steel City News, starting off with Magic Mike. What do you have today for us, Mike?
Well, I used to have the World Cup for us, but with the United States losing in the World Cup and no longer playing, I'd say that the excitement's dying down a little bit here in the United States. A lot of good soccer fans, a lot of guys like to watch it, but it's just never going to be what it is in the rest of the world. In the United States, it's not the number one sport, it's not the number two sport, it's not even number 3 or 4. In the rest of the world, soccer is the number one sport in the country everywhere. So it's going to be very, very hard for a United States team to be able to catch up with the rest of the world. That's nothing against soccer, nothing against fans of soccer, but around here it's a once every 4-year deal.
Okay, short and sweet. All right, Claudia, what do you have for us?
Well, I almost said Lawrence McCutcheon, the old Los Angeles Ram running back. Andrew McCutcheon. Obviously, he's going to make the All-Star team, and deservedly so. But in my opinion, the most valuable player on the Pirates is Josh Harrison. That guy, since May 2nd, I think the Pirates have the best record, I want to say, in the National League. And I think Josh Harrison is definitely, without question, the reason for that. You put him at second, short, third, right, left. I don't even know. He may have even played center. He may have even pitched a game or two. What I would do with him, though, instead of just putting him in spots, Mercer, to me, I mean, what is he, batting 230? He was in a bad slump early. I'd definitely put Josh Harrison at shortstop. Now, is he going to be as good of a glove as Mercer? Well, Mercer's not exactly Ozzie Smith either. So, but I think the attitude, he sticks his face in the game, and he's a hard-nosed player. He's a hard out. He's batting 300. I think he's the main reason why the Pirates have gone on this big run. And I think you have to reward him. Instead of just putting him all over the place as a utility guy, start him at shortstop, and I think you're going to see big dividends from him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. And the pitching staff, who would have thought they'd be doing what they're doing? No Laureano, no Cole, and they're holding it down pretty good.
You got to give them credit. You know, I've been critical when necessary, but you got to give them credit. They're, 3 games over 500?
43 and 40.
And they're still in the wild card race, and a long way to go. But again, I think Josh Harrison is, in my opinion, I think he's the leader of that team. I think he's the leader. I think a lot of guys go to him. I think he leads by example. McCutcheon is, obviously the best player on the team, but is he a guy that's going to be like the captain of the team? Whereas I think Harrison, who's been, I don't know if he was guaranteed a roster spot at the beginning of the season.
True.
And then they tagged him as being a utility guy. Well, I think he's better than that. And I think a lot of guys have kind of turning to him as being the, quote, leader of the team.
He's put it together this year. I mean, before he was always an energy guy. He gave it his all. Now it's all, things are working out for him.
They respect him, I think, more than anybody.
Yeah, and it's working out. It's just I don't know if it's one of those years or if he's finally turned the corner. But everything he does, it seems like he's making a difference.
Some guys, you give them 300 bats max, and they max out. I definitely think that of some players. Snyder would be like that. Tabata, I think, was like that. I don't think Josh Harrison's like that because he's got a lot of heart, and he's going to find a way to beat you one way or the other.
Okay. All right. Smoking Jim Frazier. Oh, before we do that, we have to put a disclaimer out there. The words you're about to hear reflect Smoking Jim's thinking, not Claudio, Mike, mine, or anybody else you're going to hear today. That being said, Smoking Jim, it's all yours.
Do we have to call Dennis Rodman or Kim Jong-un to put a stop to Heinz Ward's Heinz Field wedding? Listen, this washed-up Korean needs to go away. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Antonio Bryant gets into the Hall of Fame before Heinz Ward. Hey, listen, I went to that football powerhouse, Gateway High School, where we only scored touchdowns. We don't kick field goals. We don't kick extra points. So obviously, I don't know anything about soccer, but how can you win one game, tie one game, lose 2 games, and you're considered the greatest soccer team of all time. Speaking of the greatest of all time, another day, another excuse for Tiger Woods. He'll never win another major. And listen, isn't it time that we start calling Chuck Noll the greatest coach of all time? He took over an organization that hadn't won anything for 40 years. He won 4 Super Bowls. He also drafted and developed 10 Hall of Fame players. I believe in my heart they should change the Rooney Rule to the Chuck Noll Rule, because Chuck Noll in the early 70s had the first team that had more black players than it had white players. Chuck Noll was the first coach to start the first black quarterback, Joe Gilliam. Chuck Noll was the first coach who hired a scout exclusively to draft black college players and Bill Nunn. Chuck Noll was the first coach to hire a coordinator, offensive defense, black coordinator, and Tony Dungy. Dan Rooney benched the first black quarterback, Joe Gilliam. Dan Rooney fired the first black coordinator, Tony Dungy. Dan Rooney, when it was time to start retiring black players' jersey, Dan Rooney says, we don't retire jerseys anymore, although you'll never see a Steeler wearing number 12 or number 58. You see plenty of 82s, 88s, and 47s. And if you change the Rooney Rule to the Chuck Noll Rule, I don't think anybody would object other than Terry Bradshaw. If you take a peanut and you cut it in half, you'd have the size of the brain of that idiot Terry Bradshaw. I've never met a brain surgeon from Louisiana. When the Steelers drafted Bradshaw, he was so dumb that he couldn't spell cat if you spotted him as C and a T. As a rookie, he threw for only 6 touchdowns and 24 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. In 71, his second year, he led the NFL again with 22 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. After 5 years in the league, he threw for only 48 touchdowns and a whopping 81 interceptions, and Chuck Noll stayed with him. He admitted in 1988 he made a mistake by not going to the Chiefs' funeral, but for Terry Bradshaw to miss Chuck Noll's funeral, he's no longer America's favorite dumb blonde.
Oh, smoking Jim. That's why we put the disclaimer out there. Let's see. Dan Rooney, Terry Bradshaw, I mean, Hines Ward. You hit them all, huh, Smoking Jim?
Not all.
Well, you hit enough. Let's say that. Hey, last time on the show, we all made predictions, and we have some clips. Can we run those about the NBA draft? And, you know, of course, I went with the Miami Heat, and so did Claudio. As we're going to run some of these clips, we were wrong, and once again, Smoking Jim and Magic Mike are together again, just like old times, Mike. I thought I'd get a smile from you, Mike. Anyway, Spurs proved that 5 beats 1 all the time, as Michael Jordan said. 6 beats 1 anytime. 5 beats 1. The Spurs just put on an exhibition. Showed up a lot of holes for the Miami Heat. And Tim Duncan, I think it's time that people start giving this guy the credit. People talk about Kobe Bryant and Shaq as being this era after Jordan. You got to start talking about Tim Duncan. He's been doing it for over 17 years. Team has never won less than 50 games. And you figure this is championship number 5. They bring everybody back. They have a ton of money to score. I put him ahead of Kobe. Right now, he's transcended from, you know, Hakeem and all those guys. He's still doing it. Kobe Bryant, we don't even know if he's going to be walking straight when he comes, but he's making $20 million more than Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, the ultimate team player. You know, I was wrong. I stand corrected. I didn't think the Spurs could give it to the Heat like that, and we'll see. The Spurs will be right back. The Heat, we don't even know if LeBron is going to be there. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Thoughts, Mike?
Well, I think you're absolutely right about Tim Duncan. I don't know about better than Kobe or whatever individually, but as a team player, he's probably one of the best all time. Going to five championships like he has with different teams like he has. What a great player this guy is. And again, a great head coach, great with
Great
Popovich,
organization.
great organization all the way around. This team, again, as you said, next year you have to think about them in the same picture, same, finals, possibly another championship, as other teams are, unable to hold together like they are through free agency and everything. The Spurs have been able to keep their teams together and keeping the playoff hunt like every year. So I think as an organization, the Spurs are head and shoulders above just about every team out there.
Claudia, what happened? I mean, other than Dwayne Wade, looking like he's 45 instead of 35, but what happened?
Well, the reason why I picked the Heat to begin with is because everybody says that one guy, LeBron, obviously, is who he is. But then you have Bosh, and you have Wade, and you have Champion, you have all these guys. I thought that they would pull that same rope, but they didn't. And as far as Tim Duncan's concerned, I think he's our generation's Bill Russell, if you think about it. And
He got about.
well, I didn't say. I said our generation. I didn't say it's better. I said it's our generation.
About eight more to go.
But you tell me what center has done as well as Duncan has. I mean, with that, as consistent as he's done. I didn't say he's better than Bill Russell.
He's been doing it a long time.
But he's done a great job. He doesn't open his mouth. He doesn't promote himself. Maybe that's one of the reasons why he doesn't get the publicity everybody else does. But, I mean, I've never been like a huge fan of his, but you got to give him credit. And the San Antonio Spurs, I've always said the New York Yankees and the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best organizations in sports. I think you have to put San Antonio Spurs right there as well.
Smoking Jim.
And by that I mean is, again, consistent. They don't fire coaches left and right. They don't get rid of guys. True. Well, the Yankees do. But I think you have to give this, they're the actual team. The Heat were not a team.
Smoking Jim smiling over there.
Well, everybody knows I'm a professional gambler. Smoking Jim ain't my real name. I'm on the run. Listen, before the series, I said San Antonio would win in 5 games. I put heavy money on there, and I'm very happy right now. Listen, LeBron James would never have won nothing in Cleveland. LeBron James is going to win again. Him and Carmelo Anthony will probably get together in Miami, and they'll win 1 more before they lose 2 again. LeBron James, as long as he's able to jump from team to team for max money, LeBron James will begin to win more and more championships. He bought 2 championships, and he'll buy another one when he hooks up with Carmelo Anthony.
Buy championship, Smoking Jim. Come on now.
Well, Dr. J was stuck in Philadelphia for years. If he could have left Philadelphia like LeBron James did, he could have done that too.
Different salary cap back then, Smoking Jim. Hey, speaking of jumping teams, the Cavaliers, they had the #1 pick. Last year they blew it, Anthony Bennett.
Who?
We're still looking for him. Who is right? That's what the fans said. But this year they got Andrew Wiggins. Out of Kansas. Pretty athletic. I kind of thought maybe Jabari Parker. Can we run that clip? Pretty athletic guy. There was a lot of smoke screens saying that, Dan Gilbert wanted Andrew Wiggins and some of the front office wanted Jabari Parker. But all this guy does is make plays. He plays both ends of the court. Doesn't dribble real well.
Nobody in Pittsburgh likes the NBA.
Oh, boy, I beg to differ, Smokey Jim. Everybody I see go around the AAU circuit. They think they're the next LeBron or the next Wiggins. That's what I see. But your thoughts, Claudia? Wiggins, Parker,
I think Wiggins was a good
Embiid?
pick. But I really, outside of Wiggins, I think the other guy who has a shot to be a star, well, there's going to be some stars, but is Randall from Kentucky.
Julius
but
Randle.
I just don't
Well, he's
see
with
any,
Kobe. He's not going to
Yeah.
get the ball the first 2 years.
No, but he's going to do
in
some
the
things.
league.
He reminds me, remember Walter Berry from St. John's? Of course, he didn't do anything in the pros, but a McGinnis type thing with good rebounder, and I think he's going to develop a good shot. He's still young. But I just didn't find any superstars in this. I don't think there's anybody in this first round that's going to be a superstar besides Wiggins. I mean, a megastar. I just don't see it.
I see a couple. I see Parker. Milwaukee, I think he can put them back on the map or finally get them on the map. He goes there. Jason Kidd fights his way out of Brooklyn so he could go coach in Milwaukee.
And you think they'll be superstar level guys?
Oh, I think he's definitely going to be a
Yeah, after he
superstar.
tanked that workout with Cleveland, so that Milwaukee was.
Do you have the tape for that, Smoking Jim? I want to see the
His
tape.
mama told me that's what he did.
I want to see the tape it that way. But I think this guy's going to come in averaging 20. I think Milwaukee's going to make a big step. I saw him when he was in high school. and he just continues to get better and better. Even from his first game at Duke until his last, I saw a lot of improvement. I think he's going to do it.
Jamie Dixon never seen him in high school.
Jamie Dixon was at the game when they came to West Virginia.
He can't recruit an NBA player.
But you know what? Dixon didn't say a word to him because he knew he had no chance with that offense. Kind of upset that DeAndre Kane didn't get drafted, though.
He didn't?
But he did hook up with the Summer League, Los Angeles, one of the guys we've had on the show. So hopefully,
DeAndre Kane didn't get
hopefully he sticks. A lot of guys, seniors, guys who stay 4 years. Nowadays, if you stay 4 years, your draft stock drops.
Really?
Patterson got drafted.
Patterson did get
He
drafted.
didn't stay with
Second
that-
round.
He didn't stay with that team for a day.
Got traded to Atlanta in 10 minutes. But hopefully, it works out for him. But we also, we talked about, let's run Jabari Parker's picks. That was a pretty exciting player. Jump shot, he's 6'9", kind of reminds me of like a Carmelo, since you brought him up, Smoking Jim. Plays defense pretty much like Carmelo, which is none, but he can score all over the place, inside, outside. Just going to be a terrific guy. 20 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, still athletic. Maybe not as athletic as Andrew Wiggins, but he has a better jump shot, a better handle, and he has a little more size.
I like Gonzalez.
I tell you who I think is going to do well. And again, I don't think any superstar. Marcus Smart. I think he's the type of guy who, again, he shows a lot of heart, and I think he's going to surprise some people.
Another guy who stayed too long last year. He might have been a #1 pick in that weak draft. This year he comes out and he's not in the top 5.
I think it was 6. I wanna
Six.
say.
We're
Right
losing
before
viewers
that.
talking NBA. I tell you.
Well, we can't always talk NFL, Smoking Jim, but we do have a special player in the house, the one and only Claudia, who's going to introduce him for us.
All right. Well, a good friend of mine, John Quijero, nominated this young man to our Steel City Sports Awards. And it's too long. This guy has really accomplished quite a few things. I'll just go over a few things. David Burkes, Ernie Burkes, not Banks, 13 varsity letters, 4 baseball, 4 basketball, 4 football, 1 track. Member of WPIL championship team in 2011, hit 400 his sophomore and junior years. Selected Newcastle All Lawrence County as a sophomore and junior. Basketball, 1,536 points. I mean, he averaged over 20 points as a sophomore and a junior. I mean, he's all over the place. He's been successful all over the place, and now he's going to be playing football at Mount Union.
Wow. Okay.
So to me, that's quite an accomplishment.
Great program.
And he also has great grades as well. So I'd like to introduce Ernie Burkes. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely great resume already, Ernie. Just step to the mic. We want to talk to you a little bit about that. Ernie wasn't able to make the banquet, but we wanted to make sure we gave him the trophy.
What high school did he go to?
I'm sorry, Neshannock.
Oh, where they should have beat Clareton a couple of times.
Well,
I don't know about that. Tyler Boyd.
yeah, that was a pretty impressive team. Now, you're going to play foot. What position are you going to
They
play?
recruited me to play quarterback, but I'm open for any position, really.
Okay. Quarterback. All right. Definitely a great resume. And just tell the viewing audience, now we're giving you an award for baseball, but you're going, for football. What made you choose football instead of baseball, possibly? Or
Well, I actually might be playing baseball at Mount Union. I haven't decided that yet. I'm going to see
okay.
how my studies go because I'm majoring in biology, so it's going to be a rigorous academic schedule, so I'm going to see how that goes. The reason I chose football is because my brother played football in college, and from what I've heard, it's the easiest sport to play and also go to school because practice hours don't interfere with school time. And I've just always liked football. I like having the ball in my hands. I like going up against 11 other guys with 10 other people on my team. I just like the whole team aspect of it, and that's really why I chose football, for keep me disciplined in the classroom and on a playing field.
Well, I can definitely agree with you because in college I majored in general studies and was able to keep up with my grades for football. But one thing, if you play quarterback at Mount Union, I'm an NFL scout, and Mount Union got the best wide receivers over the last 7 years in the country, so you'll be throwing in some great ones.
What school did your brother go to?
Both my brothers went to Union. You mean college?
Okay.
Do you mean college?
Yes,
Who?
yes.
Bobby went to Allegheny, and Jason went to Pitt Bradford.
Okay.
Good.
I have two older brothers.
You play football at Pitt Bradford?
He played, brother Jason played baseball at Pitt Bradford, and Bobby played football at Allegheny.
Did you get any offers baseball-wise? Anybody on you for
I didn't really
baseball?
get any offers, but Coach Quilera kept me informed of what coaches were interested in me. But I always told Coach Q I didn't really have an interest in baseball. He's still a little upset about it, but.
And what other colleges were after you football-wise?
There's Geneva, a lot of Division III. I looked at YSU when Bear Mangino was there, but then he left, so I kind of just shied away from that program. Bucknell, they contacted me.
Good.
What's that? There's a couple other schools. No, I don't know. There's just schools.
Newcastle didn't offer you enough money to go play for them?
Hey, now you played against some pretty good Clareton teams.
With Tyler, Titus, and Teresh.
Yeah, what did you think about that? I mean, a couple of them were playing at now. What did you think about that? One of Jim's favorite teams. What did you think about that Clareton team?
It was just one of the most unbelievable games I've ever played, and just those three athletes alone, along with the other kids on their team. I mean, it was just a good game. Just that team was pretty much unbeatable. We tried everything. Just Tyler took over when it came time to take over, and there was nothing we could really do about it.
Right.
And you're living proof that that Clareton, you can play football without going to school.
Well, and that's exactly why Smoker Jim's not allowed in Clareton. He might come up missing if he goes back there, as we found out at a couple boxing matches. But Ernie, definitely have accomplished a lot of things, and we have a lot of young viewers that watch the show. What can you tell them about it as far as you're able to keep your grades? You're majoring in biology, but also played all these other sports. Just, what can you tell the kids about the importance of grades?
Stick with it. I mean, don't ever set a schedule. Stay with it. Study when you have to. Take your breaks when you have to, and work hard when you have to. I mean, when you have to do something, get the job done. That's really pretty much all I did in high school, and it worked out for me.
Okay. And the last thing, I'll let you sit down after this. Talk about your work ethic, how you've been able to, play all these sports, and what's your day like? How are you able to get your body right? You're playing football, you're playing baseball, and you're playing at a high level.
Well, there's been times over the summer where I was playing all three sports in one day. I'd have basketball practice in the morning, and go to football workouts at 4, and then I had a baseball game at night.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was really rigorous. It was tough to play all 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it was well worth it. I met great people. I met a lot of great coaches who I still know to today. I mean, just the camaraderie amongst me and my teammates and all the people I met, it was just really worth it to play all those sports. So all the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears, it was all worth it.
Did you always try to study at a certain time each and every day, or just vary?
Just whenever. I mean, I tried to study in school when I could, when I had a study hall, but I mean, mainly at nighttime before I went to bed, because I'd have practice right after school. In the Shannock, it's usually like a 3 or 4 hour practice, because that's just how my school is.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't really get to study till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
We gotta mark the tape. Smoking Jim asked a question about studies. That's amazing. Thanks for bringing that out of him, man. Hey, once again, great job. We wanted to make sure we gave you that trophy.
Thank you.
We wish you could have been at the banquet, but we wanted to make sure you got that. We want to get into some baseball, and I know you can help us with that. So we'll let you grab a seat and put that trophy right in front of you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Again, we're talking about baseball. We just gave out an award. Right now, Andrew McCutcheon, as you mentioned earlier, is leading the National League as far as outfielders, as far as votes. Mm-hmm. Can we run some of those clips, some of the baseball clips, and what you think about the Pirates? Ernie, have you been following them kind of closely, and what's your thoughts on the Pirates and Gregory Polanco and McCutcheon? And
You guys were talking about Harrison earlier.
Uh-huh.
I think he's an unbelievable baseball player. I think the way he's stepping up for his team. You guys talked about leadership, but one thing, even my coaches told me, there can be more than one leader on a team, and I think Andrew McCutcheon and Harrison both are doing a phenomenal job of leading their team right now, and hopefully keep doing that.
Okay.
Andrew McCutcheon couldn't lead silent prayer, but
Once you're getting out, okay, add Andrew McCutcheon to the list. Hey Ernie, what positions did you play? I mean, as you see Harrison at the highest level, he's playing shortstop, he's playing second, he's playing in the outfield. I mean, just what position did you play, and how often did you switch? And that at a high school level?
Well, I started out at third base because John Sansan, he plays for Florida State, and I was our shortstop.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played right alongside him, and once he left, I went to the shortstop position, but my dad might disagree with me, but I don't feel like I'm a natural infielder. I feel like I'm more meant in the outfield because of my speed.
Okay.
And, like, in practice, like, in pregame and stuff, I'd go out in the outfield and, like, shag balls. I wouldn't worry about taking grounders, so if you're able to play multiple positions and you're versatile as a baseball player, I don't feel like any coach would not want you.
Now, what do you think about Gregory Polanco? I mean, he's come up and he's just been tearing up the league, and now we're hearing that the Pirates offered him a 10-year contract worth $75 million or something, which he turned down, which he should by all accounts. I mean, that's he's playing until 2024 with that contract. What's your thoughts about Gregory? Have you been able to watch him at all?
Yeah, I've seen his at-bats a couple of times. I really like his swing. I like his mentality at the plate, the way he battles. I mean, really couldn't ask much more from a teammate. So I think that 10-year contract should end up being a pretty good idea. But we'll see.
No, you know what? The Pirates, they shorted him because what they did is they offered him a 10-year contract for $75 million, but all the money was in the last 3 years, and the last 3 years were all team options.
Right.
So basically, they set him up to,
They
last
wanted
3
him to
years.
turn it down.
And unless his agent was an idiot, he had to turn that down.
Right. I mean, you see they've done that with a couple players. Marte, I don't think he has a great contract, even though he's not playing well right now.
McCutchen doesn't have a great
McCutchen doesn't have
a terrible contract.
Yeah, he really took a hometown discount, if you will.
I still think they should have brought up Polanco from day one.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I
we
think he
definitely
would've-
agree.
yeah.
We broke it on the last show that they were going to call him up.
I mean,
But
they said it had nothing to do with the money thing, and it did.
It had everything to do with the money.
After last year, your number one priority should be playoffs. And they keep talking about World Series and championship, which, to be honest with you, the league is not that strong that they couldn't do it. They should have brought Polanco up from day one. Anyway, he's here, but really, they got a hell of a shot to move forward. If they can, and with Liriano coming back and Cole, again, I've always been very critical about the Pirates, and I think that they definitely have a shot to make some noise this season. But I definitely think that you got to keep Harrison there. I'll back to him. I mean, what a coach's dream he is. I've had a few players like that. To be honest with you, I mean, I one game myself. I played short, second, third, left, right, and I pitched.
Wow.
And I enjoyed doing all those things. Whenever players have been moving around, and they say, "Well, I can't hit." And what's that got to do with it? That's just an excuse. Harrison's never once made an excuse. I guarantee you, he's never told Hurdle no. And that's a type of guy that you want on your team.
Never had Tommy John?
What's that? No, not yet. Not yet. They're on a pitch count with him. But again, Polanco should have been brought up. And why they released Tabata instead of Barmas or Snyder, that I don't know why. Because I'd rather have Tabata definitely before Barmas and Snyder. But
It's only for the love of the game. He always had to smile or do something silly in the outfit.
Who?
Tabata.
well,
I mean, I used to.
he was a head case, yeah, but a lot of them are head cases. Albert Bell was a head case, but he performed. And I definitely don't think Tabata should start. I never said that. But again, I think he was more valuable than Snyder or Barmas.
Yeah, he likes Snyder for some reason, but we'll see. Pedro is struggling still. He's only batting about 230.
Well, that's always been a hot topic with me. I think he can be a 270 hitter. I think he can hit 35 to 40 home runs. I think he can be a 100 RBI guy. I don't know what they're doing with him.
If you work with him.
Damn straight. And people don't like it. I really don't care. But I know for a fact, I will bet whatever that if, and I don't want any money from him. I don't need no money from him or publicity. But I don't know what they're doing for him. But if you look at his swing from day one, you look at his swing now, it's the same damn thing. You look at the stats, what has improved? What have they done with him? You go to a doctor and he's not helping you. He's not helping you. Not helping you. Well, go to another doctor. But now they're benching him a little bit more. I think personally, they're trying to set him up for whenever he wants a big contract. And say, well, we're going to let you go because they're not. You see, they pinch hit Mercer for him and stuff like that.
A couple times,
you can see it now.
Batting them 6 and 7.
You can see it now. Yeah, so he'll look good in a Yankee uniform. A couple years.
Don't say that. Ernie, what's your thoughts about some of the guys we talked about, Pedro Alvarez and some of those Sterling Martes?
I don't really have much thoughts on them. I mean, I think Pedro's a really good athlete. I think he's a good baseball player. I think he needs to step it up a little bit more for his team. But, I mean, we all go through slumps. Every athlete does, and hopefully he can just dig himself out of it here pretty soon before playoff time.
Okay. All right, well, we get it. And the number to call is 412-231-2288. We got to get into what Smoking Jim always loves to talk
I
about.
didn't get the memo about everybody wearing black
Exactly.
shirts.
And we said that when you came in, he was going to come in with a gold or a brown.
Pink.
It's black, Smoking Jim, and no hats either. Hey, but we do have football coming up. We're able to get out and check out a little bit of mini camp. Smoking Jim, can
Well,
we
I'll
run
be
some of
with-
those clips?
And in a week, I'll be with Darrell Regas and Ty Law and Richard Mann out at Aliquippa for their camp.
All right. Well, we're looking to hear at some of the linebackers. We have Timmons. I expect him to have a great season. Pretty soon, we're going to see Shazier coming. He
You
looks
throw that
pretty
grade
good.
around pretty.
And look at Carter. So we'll see. And also now your boy's almost falling again, Jarvis Jones.
Too slow, Jones.
Do you think he'll have a breakout season, Smoking Jim?
Well, Michael Sams was roundly
Where Michael Sam's coming in,
Michael
Smoking
Sams was
Jim?
roundly criticized for running a 4.91 at the combines. Jarvis Too Slow Jones ran a 4.92 on the fast track. Too slow to play right outside linebacker, which I see it last year in Dick LeBeau's defense. 20 games last year, he had 1 sack, and that was from his homeboy in Buffalo who laid down like Brett Favre did
It
for
was his
Michael
rookie
Strahan.
year. Most rookies struggle in Dick LeBeau's system.
Well, no, I've
Troy
never seen a
struggled.
rookie struggle a right outside linebacker. You can put a dog with a note in his mouth
come
to
on,
go get a
Smoking Jim.
quarterback. If you're a linebacker, go get the quarterback.
The only player that I saw not struggle his rookie year, Lamar Woodley, came in. and
Is he a
did something.
linebacker? Is he outside linebacker that goes
He's
after
outside, but he
quarterback?
wasn't the right side. He was on the
Because-
left side. And he also had a Harrison on the other side. So that's a big difference. Jarvis Jones wasn't playing with him, even though he was playing with a guy having a great season. Woodley wasn't out there. Hey, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from. All right, it looks like we lost that call. Again, the number to call, 412-231-2288. Yeah, I
too
think
slow
so.
to
You
answer.
didn't pissed off a couple people, Smoking
He was too
Jim.
slow to answer.
Hey, give us a call. Mike, Claudio, thoughts on that?
On what? Jarvis Jones?
Jarvis Jones or the linebacker?
I
think
anything he says in football, I'm agreeing with.
Yay!
Period. End of story. He's never been.
I know for a fact Jarvis Jones didn't play 20 games last year.
Four exposition games and 16 regular season
He didn't
games.
play
He
all
played
the
those
exhibition.
16.
He played
Come
all.
on.
He played every
Come on.
down in the
He did not
exhibition.
play every game.
Well, we'll see
I
this
don't
year.
make mistakes.
We'll see this year. I think he's going to be all right,
He was.
Smoking Jim. The linebacker core is going to be pretty solid. Shazier, I'm excited about what he can do at that 4.3 speed.
Back to 8-8 seasons. First
10
time since
and 6.
19 First
10 and
time
6.
since 1969.
10 and 6. Hey, let's jump to the phone call. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Hey guys, this is Sean.
Hey,
Sean.
what's up, Sean?
Not much. I'm on the Kelly Russell shift, so I gotta make it quick.
Okay.
What are y'all talking about today?
Oh man, we're hitting everything. We're hitting everything from the NFL draft. I mean the NFL.
We're talking
the NBA
gateway
draft.
football a little
We're
bit.
not talking anything gateway
Soccer.
and Smoking Jim's
Yeah, they-
losing
they
program. And we also have Ernie Burkes in the house with us as well.
Sean, we're talking about whatever you want to talk
Yeah.
about.
Okay. Well, let me get this Smoking Jim joke out of the way right now. Gateway gonna dot on a AAA and still won't win the WPO.
Exactly.
Get that out the way right now.
Well, we already won 6 state championships, but
Okay, we're talking recent, not ancient history.
What kind of school has 2 million
Okay.
kids to choose
All
from?
right,
and
I
they
got.
AAA.
Let
Hold on.
me keep it on the Pirates real quick.
Okay.
Here's my problem with the Pirates, and they're getting lucky because of their pitching stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
The Pirates should have realized that you have a window to win.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, their window should be Pedro Alvarez. Due that Pedro Alvarez is signed to Scott Boras, he more than likely is not going to re-sign in Pittsburgh.
True.
So what you do is, in my opinion, they should have loaded up for the next with however long Pedro's contract is, load up now. You got McCutcheon that re-signed here. One of the reasons why is McCutcheon's fiance is from Du Bois, former Pirate employee. You got Marte to sign. I don't know what they're going to do with Walker, but they need to sign him unless they're going to let him go and just let Harrison take his position. In addition, they're getting lucky with Polanco that he's hitting so well coming up. I thought they should have started the season with him up, starting the major leagues from
no question he should
opening
have started.
day.
I agree.
I think the team would be a lot better, and I think they should have made a run at Burnett with I don't know how his contract was, but I guess they had an option. If another team signed Burnett, they would get a draft pick.
Right,
But
right.
Well, Sean, there's rumor that
Contract.
Burnett might come back. They might trade for Burnett, which means that the Pirates won't have to pay the original demand of $15 million.
Still being cheap.
Yeah, still being cheap. But, I agree with you 100% about everything you just said. And as far as Alvarez is concerned, if they let him go, who do you have that's going to replace him? And who on the team right now is that big home run threat? But I agree with everything you said. But like I didn't mean to interrupt you about Burnett. They say he might be here even by next Saturday. He's pitching here Sunday. And I don't know if he wants to.
So they may trade for him?
I'm sorry?
They may trade for Burnett?
Yeah, they might trade for him because Phillies are going to unload a lot of people because their season isn't going. They're even thinking about trading Cliff Lee. Wow. And the Pirates.
Oh, Cliff Lee?
Yeah. Now, the Pirates are talking about price. Forget about that. But they might pick up Burnett because he was very popular here with the fans and with the team for sure. Maybe not the coaching staff.
Not with Hurdle.
Well, because Burnett is an old-time guy. He wants to finish the game.
Right.
He starts the game. He wants to finish it. And these guys play too many games with 100 pitches and all that. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I kind of have my doubts because it makes sense. It'd be nice to bring him back, and they're going to give him for a lot cheaper than they would have if they signed him straight out. So, but that's the rumor.
Hey, is this Claudio on the
Yes.
phone?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm at work right now.
I'm sorry.
I have a question for you, Claudio.
Yes.
The last time I called in, me and you, we were talking about the pitcher from Blackhawk.
Brendan McKay. Yeah.
Now, did he overprice himself?
Yes. Well, Well, again, I was criticized. Some people were talking about 5th round and 6th round. I thought in the 20s. He went to 34th round. He was 1,017th pick. Again, this is no offense towards him or anybody else. What I look at, just like we talked about before, a boxer goes 25-0, 24 knockouts. Well, who did he fight? Who did he knock out? When he got hit, how did he react? I'm talking about a boxer. Did he just pack it in? Boom Boom Mancini once said that when his trainer told him, when I get hit, I got 2 options, hold or hit back. Boom Boom hit back. That's why he is who he is. Now, McKay, I think he made a great decision to go to Louisville. He'll get good coaching there. He'll mature both physically and mentally. We all need to do that. I'm 50 soon, and I need to do both, so this isn't a knock towards him. I just thought that there was players out there who should have and did go higher. If he does well at Louisville in a couple of years, he'll go back in the draft, and hopefully he'll get higher up. But again, it was nothing personal. It was just my opinion. I was asked my opinion. You asked my opinion, and I gave it. And I was kind of right.
Yeah, actually, you gave him. He went lower than you thought he would go.
I was trying to be nice. Smoking Jim's rubbing off on me.
Can I ask you, Claudio? Can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
About a local guy?
Of course.
I just read in a paper. I guess the Pirates got a pitcher from Kent State.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't even a top 2 pitcher at North Allegheny coming out of high school. And now he's a selection of the Pirates. Can you give us information on him, and what do you see him projecting at, and will he possibly pitch at PNC Park? You
know what? I don't know a whole lot about him, but from what I do know, obviously he made a lot of progression since his days in NA to Kent State. Again, that's pretty much will he pitch at PNC Park. There's such a gap. There was when I left Quaker Valley, I was a head coach at Quaker Valley in '88. And I was assistant in '89, long story. The coach came back. But when I went to Penn State Beaver, the jump from Quaker Valley to Penn State Beaver was a big jump. Okay, high school to Division III is a big jump. Division I, any sport to pro is a big jump.
Right.
Okay, there's a gap there. And, like I said, how many years is it going to take for him to go to Kent State, to PNC Park? I haven't seen him enough. I really haven't seen him at all to make a comment on that, so I'm sorry I can't answer that. But all I'll say is it is a gap. It is a gap. You've seen guys that were studs in high school, and then they didn't do so well. Neil Walker was a stud in high school. Look
Or any gateway player in the recent years.
Well, as Sean, which Claudio's trying to say is on this show, we boycott North Allegheny.
Yeah, and just like Gateway boycotts any championships at Heinz Field as of late, right?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Hey, Sean, thanks for the call. We got to get a couple more calls in.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Yes, this is LD from Point Break.
Hey, LD!
I always wanted to do that.
Hey, what's up, LD?
I was wondering, is it dress down day on your show today?
Yeah, all of us have on black except Smoking Jim. He doesn't read emails or text messages at all.
Oh, so you didn't get the message, huh?
He doesn't check them.
Gateway, right?
He answers my text, though. I'll say that.
He won't answer a phone call. Every now and then he'll answer a text. What's on your mind, LD?
I just want to say I hope Harrison stays in the Pirates' batting lineup.
Hey.
He's been playing really well.
And he stretches the lineup out. There's no holes in it. Well, not much. I mean, he's a huge factor. I'm telling you, I think I'd bat him second.
Batting around 300. When they started this win streak is when he started to play a lot more.
Exactly.
So,
But that means they'll bench him in about 2 weeks.
Right.
And just think if Bird was still with the Pirates, that lineup would be terrific.
Where would he play?
Yeah, that's the only thing. Polanco's out,
playing first
out in the field.
I mean, they wouldn't have Davis.
You put Bird at first base.
I don't know if he plays first base, which I did like. I did like the Davis move. Matter of fact, I thought they should have got him at the beginning of the season. If they end up the season missing the playoffs by a few games, I would look back to not picking Davis up right away and not bringing up Polanco. And with the Bird thing, I think it would have been good PR to at least make an offer to the guy. But I think, or if they said, you know what, we're not going to sign Bird because we're going to bring up Polanco right away.
Right.
Then
that would have made sense.
That would have been okay.
But to say you're just going to start
For Travis
Snyder
and Tabata
and all these guys, that was a bad move. It was a money thing, and
always.
I thought they said when they were going to start winning, they would start spending.
Right.
But it looks like the same thing.
And it isn't like you're saying you're not talking about going to get Pujols or spending zillions of dollars. Spend a little something.
Right. They could have definitely afforded what he got, $8 million a year. So.
If the Pirates really wanted to win this year, they try to make a trade for Price from Tampa Bay.
You know what? That would be a great move, and I think a lot of him. I think he's a fantastic pitcher, and his name has been rumored around, swirled around with the Pirates, but that's not going to happen. That's a PR move, in my opinion.
It would be a great move, but it's not. That's not reality.
Yeah, he's not.
Every other contending team is going to want to take a shot at him too. And if you're the Pirates, who do you give up for him?
Well, even as a free agent, he would never come.
Valuable players in their minor league system.
Right.
Because they've been drafting so high the last 10 years. They have a lot of players in there.
Yeah, but you know what? There are a lot of those guys, LD, would other teams have drafted those guys as high? Do they value those guys as much as the Pirates do? And maybe not value, but it's like this. They were a good fit for the Pirates because they were signable. They came under that number. Are the other teams, did they want those guys as much as the Pirates? No. So having the Price come here, like I said, it would be great. I think that would put them through the roof. I think the fans would go nuts for it, but I don't see it happening.
I think Burnett is just a bad idea. He certainly wasn't worth the money that Philadelphia gave him, and he's proven it over there.
Yeah, but for some reason, I think he's one of those guys. Years ago when I was growing up, the Pirates always added a guy to spark that team, okay? And I think he would be a guy that if he came here, I think you can squeeze a few months out of him, that he would really bolster that staff. I think he would. I think he's got the mentality, and I still think he has stuff that he could – for a few months, I think he could do it.
I kind of think like LD. I think he's kind of finished. And
I like,
Mike,
I like
he's
what
finished.
they have now. In fact, I don't know what they're going to do with Liriano. I know they're going to put him in the lineup somewhere, but he's been a liability too. I think
he's a little bit.
they should keep what they have. Their pitching staff's fine right now.
Just one comment about the Steelers. I want to say that I think the Steelers will have the best linebackers in the league by the end of the season.
Boy, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, LD.
LD, where are they going to get them from? That's going to be a lot of trades they're going to have to make.
Timmons is already one of the best.
Timmons is a bum.
Timmons could have easily made the Pro Bowl the last couple years. Shazier's going to
If
be
he'd
nice.
have played better.
No, he could have made it. You look at his
Yes, he
stats
made
against
it.
everybody else. He could have made it. You look at his stats compared with the guys who made it. He had good seasons. I mean, it wasn't him. You see, they keep drafting for that other linebacker, Larry Foote, the Vince Williams. Now we'll see what happens with Shazier. And I think Jarvis Jones, I'm not giving him up on him yet, Smoking Jim. You might have given up on him before he even played it.
Huey Richardson.
We'll see. Oh, man, come on. Huey Richardson. We'll see. Hey, let's stay on the phone last. Caller, say your name where you're calling from. And we got to get Ernie back into this conversation. Caller, say your name where you're calling from.
Yeah, it's Kelly Russell.
Hey, Kelly.
Kelly.
I wish I had something logical to add to the conversation, but since it's a beat up on Smoking Jim show, let me continue with that thing. Hey, Smoking Jim, I hear Gateway's looking for a basketball coach.
I think Mitch is fine. He won back-to-back WPIL final appearances.
I could have swore I remember reading something about his contract was in controversy, or maybe that got worked out. I'll be honest, I don't read the sports pages like I used to.
Yeah. When you're one of the best basketball coaches in the
come
country, you don't lose your job.
Yeah, he had some great talent. We'll see. We'll see if that
You know
continues.
something? I'm going to be positive and just say we'll agree to disagree on that comment, but I will agree that he had some great talent. It's just unfortunate that they didn't live up to their potential like Shenley or Newcastle.
What else on your mind, Kel?
I really don't. Y'all talking baseball. I'll just say this. Great way for the Pirates to be resilient and literally snatch victory from the jaws of defeat last night. Was watching some of the game while I was at work last night, and the Arizona pitcher was dominating them. And in the bottom of the ninth, they always say it's not over till the fat lady sings or the game is over. And sure enough, the Pirates bats came through. They got a well-owned victory, and hopefully they can continue this on and see if they can continue this little streak. What is it? They have the best record in baseball
Since
was
May
it
2nd.
yeah.
June or something I heard. I can't remember, but they're playing some good ball, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Right, since May
And
2nd.
in terms of the Steelers, man, it's July the 2nd. Let's wait till we get to training camp, and let's see who can make it through training camp, who makes the team, and see some of these preseason games, and evaluate this coaching staff just one more time and see how everything works out.
Okay. Hey,
Mike,
Yeah.
talk about all the Penguins moves, all the loss of the defensemen and the new team, the new GM, the new coach, and
Well, I think, like you said, they made a lot of moves. I think they definitely had to get rid of Balsma. His system was stale. Everybody in the league knew how to stop it. That's why everybody thought, well, Balsma will get fired. He'll get picked up right away, but he didn't. No other team even took a shot at him. And there were a lot of openings, a lot of coaching openings, and he fit into none of them. They brought in Jim Rutherford as a general manager, former Penguins player, former goalie. He spent a lot of time with the Carolina Hurricanes, and brought him in. The first thing he did was fire Balsma, and then traded James Neal. James Neal, I think, is going to be a big loss, but the two guys that they brought in for him are two gritty guys, two character guys, which is what they said they were looking for. Patrick Hornquist probably fit in on a line with Malkin, and Spaulding will probably fit on the third line. Again, two pretty tough guys and two pretty big guys. And then the head coach they brought in, I don't know a whole lot about him. He was a junior league head coach for a lot of years. I don't know too much about him, but they brought in Rick Tocchet as an assistant coach. Tocchet was one of the two guys that I would have liked to have seen him hire as a head coach, either Tocchet or Dave Tippett. So bringing him in as an assistant coach is probably going to hopefully make a difference. He's a pretty tough guy. Maybe he gets a lot of that, maybe rub some of that off on the rest of the team. And they just, free agency, they just picked up a defenseman, Erhoff, who is a pretty tough guy and should make a difference, especially having lost Niskanen and Orpik. And then they brought in another goalie, a guy named Grice, who to me that just is a weird situation. Sadkov was a pretty good backup last year. Unless they're really thinking about moving Fleury, which I think would be a huge mistake. They're not going to get a better goalie than Fleury.
They signed another guy today too, Dowling or something.
Dowling is Downing's a head case.
Really?
He's like, I guess he's been suspended 20 games at a time twice.
But don't they need a guy?
Yeah, they need a hit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
swagger.
like that. But
They want character guys and they sign a head case. So they want to balance it out, I guess.
There you go.
But that's
Like
what they
this
have going
panel
on.
here.
Yeah, that's what they have going on right now. They're going to have to bring a lot of guys up from Wilkes-Barre because they just lost 6 guys. 6 free agents that they lost were paid a total of $100 million between the 6 of them, and that's a lot more money than they were worth. Derek Lundqvist got a $3 million a year for a 3-year deal. Niskanen's getting $7 million for whatever 7 years, something like that. They're getting a lot of these guys. Brooks Orpik's getting over $5 million a year for 5 years. They're getting way overpaid.
Yeah. Hey, Kel, one of the few guys. I mean, I miss talking to NBA with you. Any thoughts on the draft or free agency? Because you don't understand the game.
I do want to reiterate something you said earlier. Very disappointed that DeAndre Kane didn't get drafted. I reiterate what you said in regards to at least nice to see the Lakers give him a shot. And, we've watched that young man since he was a sophomore assembly.
Right.
Very proud that he's got a chance to live his dream. And I hope he gets it. To be bluntly honest, I look at some of those players that were drafted and some of the players who didn't get drafted. At least I can say with those who didn't get drafted, I've seen them do more on the collegiate level than some of these European players. And that's not a shot at them. It's just I've been able to at least watch some of these players who didn't get drafted in college.
Right,
So,
right.
So I'm happy for DeAndre Kane, and all the best in the world to him and living his dream. And, the funny thing is since I mentioned 07 Shenley, that team produced 4 Division I athletes. We got the one with the Mavericks. I don't know if he re-signed yet or whatever.
Right.
But hopefully Dre makes the Lakers. Greg's has got a shot with the Cleveland Browns, and DJ's playing overseas. That one team produced not only 4 Division I athletes, but 4 professional athletes as well.
And now we can legitimately say that was one of the greatest teams to come out. We had that argument before, and not only the high school success, but the success at college and also on the pro level. Not too many teams from this area can say that they had 4 guys from their starting lineup playing professional, in their sports.
Too bad we can't go visit Shenley High School.
It's called Obama now, Smoking Jim.
The building is still there, Jim.
Yeah, until they turn it into a hotel or whatever they're going to do. Hey, Kel, we're almost out of time, man, but thanks for calling.
Thanks,
we're looking forward
Kelly.
to you coming back and joining us sometime later.
Hopefully so. Hey, Claudio, keep up the good work, man. Love watching you on there, man.
I appreciate it, brother. You're the best. What do I always say about you? I agree with everything you say.
That's right. You keep it up. Y'all go, fellas. I'll get with y'all later.
Hey, thanks,
Kelly.
Kelly.
Hey, let's get back to Ernie as we get ready to wrap up the show. We talked about a lot of stuff. We did want to get your viewpoints. Now, you said you played a little basketball as well?
In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, I played all 4 years.
Okay, did you follow as far as the NBA draft and everything coming up? Smoker Jim, you could avoid this conversation if you want. Your thoughts on the draft and free agency? Do you get involved in that much, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm with Smoking Jim on this one. I'm not really following the NBA. I don't really trust it, so I'm with him on that one.
Okay, all right.
I know what
You
I
don't
know.
trust it?
I know the one.
That's a new one. What do you mean don't trust it?
I don't know. I believe in kind of all that fixed stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean like fixed games, but I mean like all these teams getting like the 4 best players in the NBA on one team.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
That's ridiculous.
Cleveland
Well,
getting the number one
back
pick.
in the day, that's how Boston and LA kept going to the championship. They had, 8 of the best players in the league on one team.
Well, but a lot of those
Boston
guys,
had 5,
But those
LA
were-
had the other 5. Anyway,
you know what though about that though, real quick? Those guys they had role players, McAdoo, Walton. You know, it isn't like they just went out and got Dr. J, George. You know, the Sixers tried that and it didn't work, but.
I knew when I
Four. As
Malone.
Moses Malone said.
That was one free agent pickup.
But I knew the team that I was thinking about. You guys should have beat Stowe Rocks a couple of times. That's
We
when
beat 'em my
football.
junior year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we were
when-
down 45. It was either 35 or 45-7 at half. Our whole stadium was gone. No one thought we had a chance. Came back and won that game.
Yeah.
The picture of our celebration still hangs in our weight room. So
Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Bob Bledgy, our field's actually named after him. So that's the best game he's ever seen on the Shanks field. And
Really?
He's
Wow.
been there pretty much all of the Shanks football. Like,
Wow.
You know, Ernie, now talk about your greatest memory from high school. What are you going to remember most of all from your high school experience?
Don't mention
Athletically.
Don't mention her name.
Athletically.
No, pretty much everyone. I mean, everything that happened, beating Stare Rocks. I mean, winning Whipple championships my freshman and sophomore year in baseball. I mean, it was just playing with John Sansone it's probably going to be the most memorable thing because he was just such a fun kid to be around. He loved the sport, really intense about it. I mean, that's probably going to be my favorite part of high school.
And how did you like playing third base and shortstop for the Chicago Cubs? Inside joke. On his trophy, it says Ernie Banks.
Hey, that was an inside thing. You let it get out. other than Clareton, what's a team that you wish you would have played and beat in high school?
Stare Rocks my senior year. We had them we were on the 1 yard line.
Oh, that was a great game. That was a great game.
They got Gianni trying to get in, but I mean, it was a hard-fought game. I couldn't
was
have
one
asked
of
for
the
a better game. I didn't mind that we lost.
That was one of the best games I've seen. I mean, there were so many exciting plays both ways.
Yeah.
And, man, just for it to go down 1 yard line. What did you think when they called the play in the huddle? Did you think, oh, this is it, we're winning this game? Were you confident in that play?
I mean, I kind of wanted the ball the last play of the game, but I mean, it's cool. I had a lot of faith in Gianni. He's our big bull on the 1 yard line. I was really confident giving it to him again. I mean, it was a muddy field. There's a lot of factors. You can make excuses about everything, but we lost. They won. It was a good game.
Spoken like a true quarterback. Game's on the line. I need the ball in my hand.
Johnny Football!
Hey, that's the show for us, Ernie. Thanks for coming on, man. Best of luck. We enjoyed watching you. Great teams, and you have a great future in front of you. Thanks for coming on. For Smoking Jim, for Claudio, for Mike, I'm Luther. Make sure you check out the website, scsportsworld.com. We'll have this show and other ones up as well. And we'll catch you next time. Still City Sports World, scsportsworld.com.
Great.